answer the question.
Why wouldn't you answer that question?
The question is,
radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen.
That's where the taxes come from.
No, sir.
County government and county
Mr.
government spending.
The governor now has monopolized 2 minutes, and he's now late, so I'd like a rebuttal. They aren't, sir. And the reason that county spending increased...
Moments like those might be a thing of the past. It seems like each election cycle now we're seeing fewer and fewer debates between top candidates. And it is a bipartisan problem. For example, this past April, the RNC withdrew from the Commission on Presidential Debates over accusations of bias. And then you now have this year's gubernatorial race here in New York. There were debates scheduled between incumbent Democrat Kathy Hochul and Republican Lee Zeldin. Hochul accepted only one of them for Tuesday, October 25th at Pace University in New York City. But Zeldin is now declining that invite, saying that he will only accept if Hochul will debate him at least 3 times. So with all of that in mind, we welcome to the show Professor Shawn Donahue at the Political Science Department at the University at Buffalo. Great to have you on to kind of help us understand this. Are we just envisioning this in our heads, or is it true that we're just seeing fewer of these debates? And it seems to me, we mentioned a bipartisan problem. It seems like an incumbent thing, right? If you're the incumbent and you're the one who is facing re-election before the voters, it seems like you're less inclined to want to head into one of these debates.
I think that's absolutely correct, Michael. If you're the incumbent, whenever you have a debate with your challenger, one of the things that has the effect of doing, it gives them free airtime, number one, because usually incumbents have a decent financial advantage, as Governor Hochul does in the gubernatorial race. And it also gives them more stature by being on the same stage as the incumbent. Is one of the reasons why a couple of the reasons why I think that that is true with incumbents for debates.
As we focus in right now on this kind of back and forth in the New York governor's race, again, Lee Zeldin kind of surprising some people today by saying he won't accept that one debate that Hochul seemingly reluctantly decided to join in on. The timing of it is also a concern because it was scheduled to happen in late October. Zeldin is saying by that point you have a lot of absentee ballots that have already gone out. Some people have already made up their mind. How close to an election do people typically make up their mind? And is it a good idea to have the debates pretty close to Election Day when it's actually on people's minds?
Well, I think it depends on the state as far as that. So one of the things in New York is that we have fairly limited absentee voting by mail, and our early voting period is shorter than a lot of states. So you probably could have a debate in New York later than you could in a state maybe like North Carolina or Florida or Iowa, where there's a lot more early voting and a lot more earlier absentee balloting. So, there are several states in the country where absentee ballots have already went out. So I think that would be more of a concern in those places than in New York.
When we talk about the politics of this, right, each campaign is sort of balancing the pros and the cons, right? I mean, as a journalist, I wish they would, do a lot of debates. I wish they would come on our show all the time when we want to ask them questions and be available all the time and take the tough questions. And unfortunately, candidates of both parties don't like to do that a lot, right? So if we look at the politics of this, does it help one side or the other or hurt one side or the other when they're either agreeing to debate or not agreeing?
Well, I think that one of the things that you often see is kind of a debate over the debates, which is, I think, what we're maybe looking at now. I think it's highly unlikely that you would see no debates in the gubernatorial race. It may be a tactic on the part of Congressman Zeldin to try to pressure Governor Hochul into having more debates by his, current stance. But, it's to his benefit to have as many debates as possible. If it's only one, kind of have to wonder if he would decline the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, something we'll, of course, continue to follow and see if he changes his mind. Will Kathy Hochul maybe change her mind and agree to do more debates? We shall see, but we'll continue to follow it. UB Professor Shawn Donahue, thanks so much for coming on the Town Hall. We appreciate it.
It was a pleasure to join you, Michael.